TxStampin Sharon. I have a very simple yet I think elegant little sympathy card that I'll be sharing with you today, and I want you to see what my inspiration card was. So here's my card. When I was recently on a cruise, my friend Mary gave me this gorgeous card, and recently I had to make a sympathy card. So I loved the layout of what she did, and so I decided to create my own. It's not as blingy because mine is a sympathy card, so I wanted to try to keep it more low-key. But I just loved how she did the oval. I couldn't use this piece because mine was too big of an oval, but I want to give you some tips on how to make this card. So I'm using Wishing You Well, which has some really sweet sentiments in it. It is in the holiday catalog, but it can be used for either a Christmas card or a holiday like Thanksgiving card, and in my case, a sympathy card. So I want to give you a few tips. First of all, when I picked my cardstock, I didn't have matching ribbon, but I had the sheer Whisper White, I think it's like 1/8 of an inch. So we're going to color it, and I recommend that you color first because this takes a long time to dry. I am using a Stampin' Up marker, and I'm just going to place it down here. And I am going to turn it over because I'll be tying it into a bow. So I just want to make sure that everything is good and covered. You will want to just set that aside because it does take some time to dry. I wouldn't recommend using a heat tool because it might curl the ribbon because it's so sheer. So just let it dry on its own. And now I just have a piece of Whisper White scrap. I'm going to stamp I'm using Granny Apple Green, and then I'm going to bring in Melon Mambo for my little flowers and my bow. I realized when I needed a sympathy card the other day, I haven't been making them. I will admit, it's not my favorite card to make, especially when there's a loss. Next, we're going to cut this out. I'm going to bring in the Big Shot. I do have the thin die adapter on the Big Shot platform, and I have a very well-loved plate. I'm going to place that on here. And this is a tight fit, but I didn't want my oval any bigger. I am using the layering ovals. Let me bring back my card so you can see what we're doing. I have, whoops, I lost my bow. I stuck that bow on with a glue dot, and after I made the card, I decided, there's an easier way to make it. I've already run my Big Shot through the embossing folder with the tufted folder. I tell you, these folders are gorgeous in person, but even on the video or a picture, it just doesn't do it justice, but I love this folder. I already have my card base done. We're going to attach it with some multi-purpose glue. So Melon Mambo on Melon Mambo, because my friend Mary did a tone on tone, and I like that look. I've already cut out my scalloped oval to fit my stamped oval. Just gonna add some snail to the back of that. This would be an easy card for me to go ahead and have a couple of these on hand, just in case I need them. Like I said, they're not my favorite cards to make. It's just kind of a sad occasion. So I wanted something subtle, but cheery. The sentiment says, sending you our thoughts and prayers. So I thought it was appropriate. Now, I already colored a piece of my ribbon because I learned that it does take a while to dry, and I didn't want to have ink on my cardstock. So I'm going to grab my stamp and I'm stamping. My paper's a little warped. I'm going to stamp over more towards the right side. Before I go any further, if you've ever watched me do videos, you'll notice that I am using my labels for my clear mount stamps. So I want to teach you a trick. I always love to give you guys tips and tricks. So I purposely have not mounted all of my stamps. Just pull half of that off. Then I want to pull off the backing to the stamp. And I prefer to put it on this way, especially something like this oval. And then I'm going to peel it off. Peel off the other half. Oval. It's a circle. Listen to me. Place that down. And my tip is, grab a block. To use chapstick. Who knew? If you put a little bit of chapstick on, it will keep your stamp from falling off when you add the label. The chapstick for me is a lot easier to clean off than any adhesive, which is what I had tried in the past, and I never have I don't like having dirty blocks, so that wasn't a thing for me. But I'm pretty happy now that I have figured this out. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna add our sentiment layer, bringing in my silicone mat, and I want to put adhesive all the way down, and then I'm gonna turn it over on my mat. I'm gonna bring in my ribbon. That adhesive will help hold that ribbon where I want it, and then I'm just gonna tie it in a knot and then a bow. Then I'm just going to trim off a little bit of excess. Kind of fix my bow a little bit. I'm going to bring in my strip of Granny Apple Green. I love this ribbon because it is very easy to make it do what I want it to do. We're going to add some dimensionals. And I found since this is a long strip, 3 worked really well. If you would like to purchase this stamp set, it is available in my online store. It is a sweet, whoops, can't read upside down. It is a sweet set. I can't wait to make some actually like Christmas cards with it. But I thought it was appropriate for the people that I needed it for. So I'm having trouble with that bow. It's only because y'all are watching me. Okay, so my inspiration card from my friend Mary, and then my card. I was going to add some pearls like she did, But I think because my image, my oval was larger, it just didn't look right, so I didn't do that. If y'all been watching any of my videos lately, I've kind of gone a little crazy over copper. So I was pretty happy that I stayed away from copper on this card because I was trying to use a different stamp set and not the same one that my friend Mary used. So I hope that this video was inspirational for you. I hope that you learned some tips. And if I can ever assist you in any way, please don't hesitate to contact me. Happy stampin'!